Finally. Whew. Hey everyone. Sorry for that, that was a fight. I don't know why, but YouTube made a little bit of a hassle to start my stream. So hopefully this works now. We have 3 viewers. Hey everyone. Let me check if I could tweeted it. No, that didn't work out either. Oof. Alright. Let me check it. Over here. Fantastic. So now I'm also in the image. Cool. Now last but not least, let's share that one on Twitter. Let's see what happens. Hey Xiam, what's new? Well, nothing, I think. I had just some problems with YouTube itself, so was a little bit of a fight right now. I hope you can hear me well, sound and clear. Whew. And then let's add so. What is new for you? How is you going? How is you going? Hey Ambresh, nice to see you. Very well, and you? So let's let them jump all in. In the meantime, I can maybe prepare a little bit. So, for example, I think the screen size is still too big. You can't understand provider. Okay. It takes a while to get it into, but I think it's not too hard at the end. I know if you are starting with something new, it's always hard. So I know the struggle. Just stick with it. I'm pretty sure you will find a good solution for that in the future. But we can talk about it a little bit, and maybe we find something that you can get your head around it. Block or provider? Well, both are a valid option. It highly depends on how much stuff you want to learn, more or less. Which is better? I like both of the creators, so I work with Remy and with Felix a lot, and I know also both packages a little bit. Personally, it highly depends on what you want to achieve, right? So Block is always a little bit more of surrounding stuff and boilerplate, because you usually have the problem with streams and so on, so you need to know streams very well and how to handle them. But on the other side, provider is very straightforward and you have everything in the widget tree, so it's a bit easier to approach at the beginning. All right, so this is set up. Fantastic. Here we have our website. That's also fantastic. I hope it's big enough for everyone, but I think the text should be fine. In the meantime, in the last couple of days, I worked with Flutter version manager, and because our Flutter website here is working on the Flutter master channel, what I would like to start with is implement the FVM, so that this project here is always using straight out of the box the Flutter master channel. For that, what I want to do is going to FVM install master. Is already installed, perfect. So, and then we want to use master. So what happened now is we created a new folder called .fvm up here with the link to the different parts. Wow, so many good questions. Provider is better than developing app, state management server. What do you want to hear? That it is better? Well, not necessarily. It highly depends on what you want to achieve. Provider is just a very straightforward solution. So you have everything in your widget tree. You can access everything synchronously. That makes it usually a bit easier to get started. Is it now the best state management system? Well, hard to say, right? I think that depends always on your needs and how much time you have to implement something. Any good documentations for the new Navigator API? There is a new Navigator API. I didn't know that. Navigator API. Oh wait, and do that maybe with you together. So let's get one browser down. Flutter Navigator API. So let's check that out, Pret. I didn't hear about it. I think the navigator is still in beta or something, right? Navigator mobile apps typically. Okay. I didn't know that there is something new. I have to check that out. That's a good question, Shia. No idea. That highly depends on how fast they are, but at the moment the performance is a big problem, so I think Flutter Web will not be released in the next or in the near future. At least this is what I think. So I just have to make one more addition because for me the music is very loud. Lower. Be better. Hey Rishabh, nice to see you. So I try still to make it work that the streams are working simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch, but it somehow doesn't work. I don't know why. So, and what I want to add is also inside of the git ignore, I would like to add .fvm so that we don't install everywhere the fvm folder here. Like that. Because they are already added in the Git repository. This is not what I want, so they will getting rolled back. And we have to, whoa! Thank you, Ayush. Hey, great! That's so, guys. If you have never seen that, this is a super chat, and Ayush is the very first one, and I have to make a screenshot for that because I want never to remember, forget that. But yeah, we have widget super chat finally, and also I think the other part that is called what is the name of it? I think super stickers or something. If we have to replace different UI in a single screen by clicking the different action on the same screen, then the block is very good in this situation. I think that is what state management in general is about. So Ambresh, this is something that state management anyway should solve for you in general. So, and what I want to do is want to commit that git ignore, add that fvm into our git ignore. Any tips for Flutter interview? What do you want to make for an interview? So for interviews. Oh yeah, I think there is a GitHub page for Flutter interview GitHub. And I think there are a lot of very good questions that you can answer. And if you know all of them, you are pretty well prepared. I don't know if it's this one or this one. I will share that with you because I really like these part and that helps you a lot. And usually these from GitHub are very good because they try to be very technical. But I can't promise you that this will be the questions. But let's think on the other side, right? You are someone who want to hire someone in Flutter and you don't know all the questions, right? So you don't just think about them. So usually you take something like that. And if there is something prepared and if you are a technical guy, you would take them from GitHub. So this is how I would do it. All right. So the good thing is now we have installed this FVM. And what I want to do is I want to take this Flutter SDK that is now part of it with that link and want to get the folder structure. So we go here to FVM and Flutter SDK and PWD. And this returns us the absolute path to that SDK. Why I need that is because we want to add that into our settings in the language framework. And in the meantime, I will ask Matab quickly if she can make me a coffee. That would be fantastic because then I can work better. All right, so sorry. So with that, we should have now the newest version of this, which is the Flutter SDK, which is on Channel Master. All right. So hopefully the IDE will understand. No, not yet. What could we do? I think I have to restart the IDE for that. Let's try that. Let's start it up again and hopefully... Sure. I think the biggest problem with Flutter Web at the moment is still that the performance is not good enough to release everything. But thanks to people like Ayush who are working a lot on the different parts and on the Flutter project, I think the progress is really, really good. So hopefully we are done there soon. I'm still working on my PR on the Flutter GitHub repository. That this will not be part of today's episode, I think, but it's still a bit slow with the pull request reviews. I think I have to be more active inside of the Flutter chat here and push a little bit more. But what I did the last time, if you maybe remember, is I changed now the whole ideas, how we do that, and improved also the documentation here. I really have to talk with Darren once more. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so now if we go to the selected devices, you can see all the three are here. So we use the macOS desktop just because the performance is way better at the moment. And yeah, that could take also a while. Sorry that I didn't prepare that well, but I thought I would start with this VM with you together because I learned that yesterday and I was completely hyped. Hey Hasna, nice to see you. Douglas currently have a performance review season. Alright. Yeah, I think that is very important. But what I really like is that Flutter Web immediately gets a PWA. So that is like amazing because when I started with the website now and I could install it as an application directly from the browser, I was very happy with it, to be honest. I like that. And I think even Rody Davis got a message from Apple that his web version is way too close to his app version, so he needed to get rid of that or something. That was pretty cool. So what do we have? An error, stale file, Flutter, macOS, Lottie, mobile old version is located outside the allowed root paths. Okay. So we have an asset, Lottie, mobile homes, old JSON. Is that an image? No. Okay. Ah, alright, yeah, that makes sense. I think at the moment there are anyway a lot of PRs open, right? 1.7.8, it's quite a lot. And I think that's alright. I mean, they have enough on their plate. If they also have to control everyone's stuff, that takes a while. Okay, so what have we done the last time? I think the last time we managed that this text looks now better and this is not so wiggly the whole time. Yeah, responsive design is currently still a pain, but I think that is a pain in all programming languages, right? In web it's also a big of a hassle. But the good thing is now, this looks already pretty good. I would like to have this a little bit more centered in the center of the screen. And if we are making it this way, so we have the tablet mode, I would also have this kind guy in the center of the screen, not a little bit on the left. But in general, I was pretty happy with the website so far, especially with the animation, because that was what we changed the last time with Lottie files. And what I could imagine in the future is maybe that we don't have only one Lottie file, that we use maybe 3 Lottie files that are getting fly in, or we create maybe an Adobe After Effects thing. I saw that there is a course, but I didn't want to start it on YouTube because I thought, maybe Adobe After Effects is not really interesting for people for Flutter. So I'm not sure with that, but this could be something that I could do in a live stream later, because I would be very interested to improve my skills there. And yeah, so what I would start with today is maybe push the stuff down, or we can maybe check. We have also a Flutter explained website. We have there our GitHub repository with a project, and I would like to share that with you. And inside of here we have some stuff that we created already. So one thing would be continuous integration and continuous delivery. And as far as I know, we did that already with CodeMagic, if I have that right in mind. So our stuff getting currently deployed as soon as we merge something into master, thanks to CodeMagic. Yep, so here we have that. So I think that project would be done already. So something less on our list. Merci, Marta. Alright, so we could move that to done actually. As soon as you have some issues there, I think that's good, then we can work on that. And we added already a Lottie file. So the next part that I would like to tackle is just making it a little bit more dynamic. So if we take a look here, as I said, I'm not sure with this animation here. I think we had a lot of discussions the last time if we would have here an animation, and I think it is too much to change the text here all the time. But at the moment, I think that is fine. Let's try to move that a little bit more in the center. And for that, we want to take a look into our Jumbotron. The Jumbotron is the whole left side. So let's think about it. So we have here our Flutter stuff. So the whole thing is a column with a start. So in order to understand how this actually looks, I want to start the DevTools. Looks perfect now. Thank you. I think there was someone who had, or AKS is his name, he was very, very, very special with that thing. So I needed to work there a lot. But it's pretty cool that you can change the colors and everything directly in this Lottie file, and you are allowed to. So you have there a lot of options, which I really liked. So now we have here our DevTools, and with that we can activate all the stuff. And today I want to select something. Let's see. Like widget mode. Yep, like that one. And as we see now, we selected this part, and we have here a column. And I think this column, as you can see, is full width at the moment. So, and what we could do is say that everything inside of it could be... do we have the layout explorer? Yeah, cool. So what could we do is, for example, instead of having start, we have space between and we have center. With that, we have at least this centered one. Yeah, the left part. In general, I think the website is still looking a little bit empty. I think also that this has a one-to-one proper... a one-to-one position is not that good. But let's work on that. I think that could be getting some love at the end. Yeah. So fantastic. With the column, I think if we set that column just to center in the main axis alignment, we have already this done. Just one thing that we have to keep in mind is that if the website is getting bigger, this is cross-axis alignment, the thing. We can keep that with start. We want to have the main axis alignment to center. Alright. So, and the other thing that I would like to do is I would like to make a box constraint around this column that this doesn't get 100% of the width. It should get actually just the width, 100% of the height. It should just get one screen height of the screen. And how could we do that? It's nice that you see yourself together on the stream. I really like that. So how could we do that? We could maybe calculate that. We get the screen size anyway. I think for that we have the nice little helper class from Minu that we have here, the size config. And this size config gets, for example, the screen height. And I think all of them are static and accessible. So we should be able to receive them directly. How can we do that? Let me think about it. Did we not get that in the main screen? I think we used that already somewhere. So size config is initialized, okay. How did we use them already? Oh, a little bit cleaner. So we have here the max width container that identifies the width of everything, and the desktop expanded Jumbotron, and I think we use that for the, yeah, so the font size multiplier, for example. So we have a singleton of size config, and then we can directly use the stuff. So in our case, I would like to have this padding here surrounded with a maybe a sized box. And this has a height of the... How do I watch this back later? The stream. You can just... the stream will be on YouTube uploaded, I think, after the stream. And then you can just join in to later. And I think you will find in the video description the playlist if you want to follow all the 6 parts where we work on the website so far. Because I think someone asked me yesterday on a comment how he can follow up everything. So I added that now to all the live streams that we see it. So we have is height multiplier, font size. So height multiplier, I'm not sure what this is. So the height multiplier is the block height, and the block height is the screen height divided by 100. So 100%. So let's check and try to make that times 80. So we use that one, and 80% of the screen should be available for this sized box. Did something change? Let's try that with 20%. Yeah. So you can see it is getting bigger and smaller. And the cool thing that I would like to do is now I would like to do that for both areas, for this phone area and the Jumbotron. Because what I think is if we scroll down, we will have some space underneath and we want to show some different parts, right? I don't know if you heard it, but our Miracle Design DE website has been hacked, so it is currently off completely. So we have moved our website to flutterexplained.org in the meantime. It is a bit slower, I think, but it should be fine for now. And we got some errors from Google at the moment, which I have to solve still. But I'm working on that, you know, a lot of work to do. But what I can imagine is that this first part here is more or less the part that we have up here, right? So that will be this part, which is one screen more or less. And then if we scroll a little bit down, we will find our services, for example. So what do we offer for you guys? And after that, for example, our team, so Mahtab and me, having some text, show some nice images, and so on and so forth. So it's getting a big one-pager. Hey Amish, nice to see you. Long time no see. Alright, so for that, the size box with that 20 is maybe on the wrong position. So let's remove that once more and use the dev tools to identify which we could use. So select widget. This is the row. The column, I mean, and there should be also a row somewhere. This guy is centered. Yes, this page is currently fully created in Flutter, and I think you can find that on flutterexplained.codemagic app. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, also this review. Very cool. This is the One Dark theme, I think. So One Dark is the name of the theme. Is that right? Yeah. Nope. Theme? Yeah, so One Dark Vividic Italic theme. I think I like that. The color scheme is very nice, and I think especially for following along in a tutorial, it looks very good to work with. Alright, so back to our project. We have the Jumbotron, and if I'm going a level higher here to the desktop one, because that is the full size, right? We have this expanded with the row. And I think this is the row that both contains. And this row will be wrapped in this sized box that I'm talked about. And here we have a height of 80 times the size config dot height. Size config? Height multiplier. Fantastic. And also it apply to other part of Android Studio? What do you mean with other part of Android Studio? In general, I would say yes. So if you have, for example, the Git integration, all of that looks the same. So now with that height modifier, we have still the center part. But what would happen if we have, for example, now below of this row, we would have, for example, a column. And these are children. Let me wrap that correctly. So we use a column. The row is one of them, and the second one would be... Ah, wait, this is now part of the size box. This is not what I want. I would like to have this size box in a column. And after that size box, we want, for example, another text widget. That's directly getting yellow because of const. So now it is weird. Okay, that's a good thing to see that something is broken, but I don't completely understand why. So size config is a helper class for us where we have all the different heights and so on inside. I think Minu sent that to me, and you have the possibility to have all the constraints and all the orientation part of it. But it seems that the size config has some problems with it because it takes the full screen that it can get, which should be actually less, I think. So I can imagine, or it makes sense that this is a problem, but what happens if I make that smaller? Okay, we solve the issue somehow, and the text comes below that. I'm still not completely aware of how much height this is at the end. So let's check quickly the inspector. We have our Jumbotron here with the expanded and the row. I want to see the details of that. And here is our sized box. You can see it's now 512. What is the height multiplier? If we go to the build function here and print quickly the size config, height multiplier times 100, this should be our full screen height. And as you can see, it is 1280 at the moment. Which makes sense. So the height of it is 1280. Is that correct? Sounds more like the width, or is the width 920? 920 is the width most likely. So if we change that to width multiplier, it's 699. Something is wrong, I think. Let us check. So what is the width multiplier? The width multiplier is block width, and the block width is the screen width divided by 100. And this is the max width. That feels weird. Screen width is smaller than 50, okay. And the screen width is the max height. That is wrong. Max width, and this is max height. So this could break now all the other stuff, but I think that is what it actually is. So I think that was wrong in that area. Is the text now correctly at the end? Ah, yeah. So I think 1280 is our width at the moment, and the height will be 699. Obviously these problems now happen because this is now not anymore the height multiplier, this is the width multiplier. Probably. Ah no, this is correct. I think in the Jumbotron, I think we use everywhere this font size multiplier. And they are not correct anymore set. This is the block width, which is maybe actually the block height. Now it works again. Okay, so yeah, size config is still a bit broken, which is fair enough. I think that's alright. And here we have now 40 times the height multiplier, so 699, and then we take 40% of that. And we would like to actually take 80% of it. And this looks a bit better, maybe around 75. Fantastic. So now we have the first screen here, but we can't scroll, right? So that is maybe the next part that we want to do. So how can we make this scrollable? For that, we have to surround everything, I think, in a list view. Should we use a list view or single scroll child widget? Let's check it out. So, list view widget. I think the list view has some benefits with the outcome. So if we scroll, then it removes all the stuff that we don't need. It displays children one after another in a scroll direction and a cross axis. The children are required to fill the list view. Okay. If none null, the item extend forces the children to give extend. Okay, fantastic. Unfortunately, it's just a screenshot. So yeah, and I think they have a life cycle, so they get destructed whenever they are not visible. But we can set it as keep alive if we want to. Custom scroll view with a single sliver list. Ah, interesting. So at the end, the list view is just a custom scroll view. So I would say we use that one for our project. So let's think about it. Let's assume we would have here an 80. Then we get this overflow, right? So actually this column is maybe not really a column. It is maybe a list view. And now we can scroll that part. And the cool thing is, because of the scroll behavior, we deconstruct everything that is outside of the visible area. Of course, here it works now because that part is on top of it, which will not be anymore in the future. But at the moment, it is like that. I think in general, it is a good idea to think about this footer bar, because as you can see, if we hover with it, it's getting a problem. Shrink wrap true, yeah, we can write that. I'm not quite sure what that actually was, so let's have a look. Let's go here. I think shrink wrap, just to read it. Extent of scroll view in the scroll direction should be determined by the contents being viewed. Ah, to give it constraints. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, we can do that. Cool. Okay. So now we made it scrollable, and I think it is looking pretty good. The next part that I would like to do is, let's commit that maybe first. So made the first page scrollable. So this height seems to be fitting. Is there any issue with that? I want to take a look into. I have yet not a good solution how we can make it not so empty. It looks very plain, I would like to say. A bit maybe too plain in my opinion. So for that, let's check out Dribble quickly. This is now a design topic. I know it's a bit different, but just to have an eye on how usually websites looking, I'm always going to Dribble to just have a look. Search for a website. So even if we take a look here, I need an account. Okay, so let me quickly log in. That I need this guy. Dribble.com. So a gradient of a background. Yeah, I think I saw that right away in one of the screens. What I also like is like such a gimmick, something like this, you know, so like, I don't know if this makes sense, but just these scribbles here on the left side makes it already a bit more spacious or interesting. Another thing would be that maybe our text is larger, that we have some more stuff to show. My mic is turning off and oh. That is bad. Thank you, Amish, for saying me that. So that is maybe not a good thing. Let's remove that and let's try it once more. Is it now better? Maybe I can also remove that one and activate the noise gate. Something like that. Now proper. All right, perfect. Okay, so my idea is maybe to have something like that, which gives just a little bit of a view or visual. What was the issue? The issue was that I had activated the noise gate for the sound. So if I shout or something loud telling, then you don't get too much noise in the microphone, so you don't hear everything. That was actually the idea. And I can make it a bit more comfortable. We'll sit here a long time, so... All right, so this is on coin. That would be one option, of course. And what do we have else? Maybe we can see other screenshots that have maybe a bit more to do with mobile development and can take a look how they do their stuff. I think the I think we are back. I had somehow to restart everything, so I hope we are here. Wait, I just make a check. Microphone is working. Somehow to restart everything, so I... Cool. So let's try it once more. Sadly, I don't have any music anymore. I can change that, or... No, not even that. Okay, anyhow. Fantastic. So it was less a network issue. We have here that a Mac adapter, and the Mac adapter seems to be a defect. So currently, if I have the monitor running, then everything else doesn't work. It's a bit quite challenging. So yeah, here we have wireless, and again, mic issue. What a day. That, giving noise suppression, fantastic. So here I am. You can hear me loud and clear. So fantastic. I think we managed it. Another step into the door. And I just try if we find, yeah, cool. So screen is clear here. So the fantastic thing of Wiredash, or what I really like about Wiredash website, is it is white in the background. It doesn't be too noisy, so there's not too much stuff on it, but still it makes a lot of information on it. And I think we could do something like that. It's good, fantastic, screen is clear, yep. Hey Ankit, nice to see you, we are back, exactly. You know, yeah. So sorry for that. As I said, it's today a bit tricky. Don't know how to fix that. I hope this afternoon with Matab it's a bit less struggle. Okay, but in the meantime, we can work on that further. Good. So what they did, and what I don't necessarily, or maybe it's just because my screen is now too small, but they usually have this 90% thing. And what I really like if they don't have this footer here. That would be something. A poll for what? Is there a question right now? I didn't check that. All right. So what could we do? So for example, these action buttons currently don't have a hover effect. I think that what is going on? This is here. Okay. And the Flutter application is here. Fantastic. So maybe we could start with removing this footer, or bring the footer on the bottom of the whole screen. For the background selection, the question is we need to have a variety of things, right? So what we could do is we could ask for a gradient, like for example in this picture here. I really like that from Inda. Let me check if I find that also here. So I think Inda is the name. Flutter Web, yeah, sure. You can deploy Flutter Web everywhere. At the end, it is just a file structure, right? So if you run the build of Flutter Web, you will find underneath of the build folder the nice little web part. And if you push all these files up to your web server at the end, it will work. choose anything. All right. So, and here they use a gradient, so they come from the blue to the white. But what I have for a problem with that is then we would have to use it for everywhere, right? So the whole background would be this gradient at the end. What I really like is something like this, but I have no clue how we would do that, so that we have like two colors with a break somewhere in between, but I think we can learn that. Yeah, so let's start first with removing the footer. I think that makes most sense and is the easiest way to approach it. Then we get a bit more cleaner website and put that on the bottom of everything. So maybe we can in general work a little bit on the footer part, because it looks pretty basic and we could do that with text and links. I think that makes more sense. Up. Okay, maybe in the meantime I can try something. Sorry for that. Better. All right. So can I choose not a playlist, but here I would like to have this. Just a bit calm music that I can work easier with you guys. Hey Tom, nice to see you again. Music is back, fantastic. G-Cloud deploy app, yep, fantastic. So the footer. Where is our footer actually currently? So if we go to the desktop home, we have these two parts, and if we go higher, we find the max width, and I think the footer is currently just part of that bottom part here. But actually this footer will not be part anymore of the main container that surrounds everything. It will actually be part of this here and will be on bottom of everything, so something like that. And thanks to the declarative UI of Flutter, we immediately should be able to see our change. So if we see that, if we scroll, we have now on the bottom our footer. A Hindi song. Let me check if I find a Hindi song, I don't know. Let's check, search term, Hindi. Sorry, nothing found there. So the problem is that I have to use the pretzel one, right? So that we don't have copyright-free music. So a challenge for you, if you add some music there for free for Hindi, I think it will be possible to let that run. Okay, so we have the footer now on the bottom, which is one thing. And now we would like to improve the footer a little bit. And for that we go back to Dribble, because I would like to see some footers here. Maybe we find a good one. In stable SDK, as I said, I think the stable version for Flutter Web will take a while still, because the performance is not there where it needs to be at the moment. Then we have some other troubles, and I think like image positioning, image rotation, and so on and so forth. So I think it will take at least 3 months, maybe a year, something around that part. So it could take anything in between. It highly depends on how fast the people are working, as always. So now I'm again in the wrong browser. The operator is not, yeah, the document snapshot, as far as I know, is a stream. So you have to conclude the stream before you can use the operator. Okay, and now you get kicked. I'm sorry, don't spam. That's not that nice. So now I have to remove messages. Okay, so as I said, document snapshot. Hey Nicole, nice to see you. Document snapshot of Firebase should be just a stream, right? So you have to conclude that first. A very good idea from me, if you want to start with that, is go to firebase.flutter.dev, I think is the name. They created a fantastic new website with the documentation and everything. And if you search here for the stuff that you need, for example, the document snapshot, here we go, then you will find all the parts. So you need to get, then after that you get the document snapshot, and here you can work on that. So maybe you can try that at Shonu. So fantastic. Exactly, thank you, Hamish. So, and now I want to work further on the footers. And what I like is usually a dark themed footer. So I don't know if this makes sense, but what I could imagine is that the footer is getting dark on the bottom. So we have a whole white screen and everything, and then as a contrast it will be the footer in a dark fashion. What I could imagine is that we have a background image that lets us show and split it a little bit. Mata will come this afternoon. She will work, she works always with in the how do we call it? The not Flutter News, it is, what do we call it? Flutter Together, where we work together on the app, on the recipe app. Also, this would be a cool footer, I think. And here you can see the transition from white to black and how it looks. And I really like that. I don't know if it's necessary with that on the bottom here with the software ink and the email address and so on and so forth. How do we do it in the moment at our website? So I have to look. It was a long time that I didn't take a look there. I think we don't even have, we just have imprint in privacy. All right. Yeah, sure. You'll find the link down in the video description, I think, to the GitHub repository. And it will be, if you have some additions or anything that we can do with the issues, please feel free to add some. Okay, so here is our footer at the moment. We have a lot of icon buttons with the different icons and the colors. So that makes that. And currently we use the feather package to create these icons. And I think the better option would be really to get these, make this big, to get some text inside and maybe split one row here into 4 columns and write there our text inside. How does Wiredash does it? Yeah, so they also take this dark background, and I can really imagine that we do something like that. Oh, it's from Düsseldorf, it's a German company, nice. So I think IntelliJ makes it also very nicely. So if we take a look here, or JetBrains better said, they also have this dark background and they just use their different social media controls. And then they have this part inside. I like that here the most at the moment with the logo on the left side. It's pretty cool. That's true, Amish. Yep, they are used. And I think you can directly link to a website, so that's true. If you want to create these private policies, I think there is also a privacy policies generator. And of course they are not necessarily good, but if you have a business, they start somewhere at least. And you can also find if you have to, well, in the best part, you always have to talk with a lawyer about this stuff, right? Okay. So back to the footer. First of all, I would like to remove the text because it's not there anymore. And let's work further. So in order to do that, I think if we do that in a dark color, we could use the same as here is. So let's check that. We take a color web variable. We just take any color because now we can take this selector here and pick the color. And in our case it is this dark one. We can change that of course in the future, but it's just a starter. And what I would like to is getting this container a color 0xFF with that color here. Use container. Yep. Just don't add Flutter term. Deploy will be the same for all. Okay, this is still the deploying stuff. Cool. And I will take that out as this is our, how do we call that? Footer background color. So we put that on top. And I think we can remove that const now because we just need once the const. And we make the constants of course with a K in front of it. So K footer background color. And also these parts here would be then K block URL, K GitHub URL, and last but not least K Twitter URL. CSS overview in Mac in Chrome. Okay, so is it an extension? CSS overview. Thank you, Nico. Let's check. New in Chrome, CSS overview, CSS tricks. All right. My favorite website for web development. Highly recommended. Command option I. All right. Experiment CSS overview. Okay. If I make right click here, inspect, then we go to options, right? I saw that in experiments, CSS overview. Okay. Profiler, Lighthouse, Redux, that's still the other parts. And now, when we added this, we have the CSS overview somewhere. Okay. Let us check once more. CSS overview, capture overview. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Thank you. I didn't know that there is something like that in Chrome at the moment. So what I assume is that it takes now all the colors, all the different layouts and so on from the CSS and shows it in one nice little page, I think. Or do I have to do something? And most likely this page is very brutal with CSS, so I could imagine that all of this could take a while. I will share the link with you. At the moment it takes pretty long. As I said, it could be because their website has a lot of stuff inside, so I will cancel that for now. Or maybe it's even broken because of the... As I said, or as I saw, it was just experimental, right? So maybe there is an issue. Does it work for Flutter? On our website? Yeah, we can do that. flutterexplain.codemagic.app. But here it could be even more confused because of the whole Flutter elements everywhere. Okay, I could just leave that running, and in the meantime I work further on our application. Where is our IntelliJ? Here we go. Renamed constants to K. We have some warnings. Okay, can be removed, that's fine. Commit, fine. Okay, so that means at the moment our mobile screen does not have any background. I can't take the CSS. I don't know what's wrong. Can it work for google.com? I think that is the easiest page that we could use. CSS overview. We get some issues here. Indicates whether to send a cookie across. Okay, was a nice try. I think it's still experimental, so doesn't work for me. Okay, so we have the background color now for the footer, and the footer is here. And we can reuse that K footer background. And for that, currently we have the box decoration, so that will not work anyways. This will be part of that. And then we have a margin. I think we can remove that. The border radius can be gone because we want to have one. And of course the color is just one variable and we don't need a decoration. Yeah, as I said, it could be any problem now. I don't know when, maybe it's a problem with one of my plugins that I have installed because I'm using Redux or something like that. So it could be that there is the problem. Oh, it's not working on Mac. Yeah, that could be also the problem. Let's see, it's not that important, but a bit sad that we can't use it directly. Okay. So we have the color dark, so fantastic, but as you can see it doesn't take the 100%. Okay, that's getting another issue now. But the footer should be surrounding everything, right? So I don't want to have that narrowed in a padding or something. So let's check where the padding comes from. I think it needs to be somewhere in the parents. So this desktop home usually has this max width container. And this max width container is not correct at this place anymore. It is just for this list view. Max width container. Because the max width container sticks our content into a 1280 space. So let's see if this worked already. Ah no, not for the list view. The list view is for everything, right? The list view also contains our footer. But we want to actually have this one in the max width container. So let's check it out. Yeah. So you can see the footer is now here on the bottom, and that's pretty cool. It looks already better, I think, in my opinion. Another thing that I would like to add in the footer is that we have a min width, a min height of something. So instead, I think, can we here directly give a min height? No. We could give a constraint with a min height, I think. Constraints. Min height of, for example, 300. This is, of course, a const. So let's see. Yeah. So if we scroll now, 300 is maybe a bit too large, but let's say 200. But you know what I mean. So. Still quite big. 150. Alright, something like that. So what do you think about that at the moment? Is the footer getting better? Or do you think it needs something in between these two? Or is the color too strong? In the meantime, we could maybe start with the row. Hey, Computer Science Academy, what a nice long name. What is your channel about? I'm really curious, so let's check that out now. Computer Science Academy. Oh, nice! So you are talking about different languages on paper. That sounds like a great plan. I learned programming also still on paper, so cool. Nice idea, I like that. That's not you. Oh, I'm sorry. Ah, I got tricked. But it's written like you, or not? Or is it this guy? Gata NTA. Alright. Ah yeah, see logo, good point. And not playlist, I want to search for channels, guys. Channel, here we go. Alright, anyhow. Alright, so next steps. So we have currently these icons, and I think what we could do is something like this and make them a bit more uniform. So I like that this is in one row, but currently I don't like that our colors are all in all directions, right? We have all colors at the moment. And they are centered. I don't even know why they are centered. I think because of this main axis alignment. So remove that. Yeah. So this row is our icon list at the end, or our social media list. I think that would be a cool name for it. So I keep it for now, but maybe in the future we call it differently. So in this container with the height, the website looks too small, so up here. Or in general, because we are not done yet, right? So the website will contain more and more stuff, but at the moment it is just that. So the idea is more or less that we picture everything that we have in flutterexplained.org. So too small. Let me check if I make that full screen. So at the moment this is everything that we have. I think this is a bit too empty still, so we will have there a little bit of work, of course. But instead of concentrate on that now, because we don't have a design for that, I would like to start with the footer first, if this is okay, Nicole. But if you have some good ideas, as I said, add them to the GitHub repository. It would be fantastic. Sure, I have used React Native. Not a big fan, to be honest. I hate everything that has something to do with JavaScript at the moment. So we have that row, and inside of that row that we have here, I actually don't want to have icon buttons. What I would like to have is I would like to have 4 columns. But I want to keep the old one. Let me check before I remove now everything. I would like to keep that here, and I will create a stateless widget for it. Just quickly, that I call social media row. Something like that. Just to keep that in for later parts. And now we create our row here with children, which will contain 4 different columns. And this row here, this row here will be wrapped in that max width container again. Yeah, pretty empty. You can use TypeScript. Yeah, you could, but as I said, everything that is based on JavaScript is a pain in my opinion. So I worked a long time with JavaScript and it never feels correct, especially if you are working with typed languages in the meantime. And so I learned for myself that it is maybe not the best option to... Oh, the music is very loud at the moment. That it is not a very valid option at the end to work with JavaScript so much. At least not in my opinion. So that's why I switched to Dart. And then I worked a long time with Discord, com channels. No. Oof, strongly typed TypeScript. I think you should really read that once more. I think you can just write JavaScript in TypeScript. And I know a lot of people who are using, what is it called? Oh, I see, I started a war in my channel now. JavaScript love versus Dart, all right. So yeah. There is a reason why I'm working fully in Flutter, and most really is that I really don't like JavaScript anymore. I worked too long in it, and at the end it's always a pain. And I could never say that I was more happy to work with JavaScript. That is absolutely right, Computer Science Academy, but you have to keep in mind that new developers have to learn TypeScript first, and if they don't use it correctly, you will have the same mess as you have with pure JavaScript. So what I will do is, instead of having the columns, I would like to have... What I could use is a placeholder in that case. And the placeholders are pretty cool because... But you must use types. I don't know if we are talking about the same thing, because as far as I know, you don't have to use types. It is just the compiler of TypeScript will complain, and even if you add something in there, it's still not 100% typed, right? It is like an option. I can just make this, and I think that's why it complains. Cool. So now we have these very large placeholders, which is maybe a bit too big. Oh, all the text that I've worked on. So let me think. My very first project that I had in my life, I think it was in JSP. And if you ask me if you should use JSP, my answer is definitely not. So now these are all too big. Way too big. I would like to have them exactly in 4 flexes, right? So what I could do is wrap them in expanded. Expanded. So yeah, JSP, that was my very first one, my very first web technology. So this is JavaScript with a little bit of sugar and, well, I could create nice UIs, but it was just horrible. Fantastic, that worked already. So let me switch it back. And we use Java Beans, I think, and this stuff. And here we remove the footer at the moment. Cool. All right, so this works. Then after we worked with, or I worked with JSPs, I worked further with pure JavaScript, I think. Is the code? No, I think Widget Studio is a proprietary language tool from Roddy Davis, so you have to buy it. But you can also go to the website from him, right? So Widget Studio, I think, is the name. Look at that, my brain is still working. After that, I worked further with Angular and a backend of Java Spring, which was very fine, worked very well. I learned a lot about it and worked a lot in JavaScript Pure and CSS Pure because of, I don't know if you know Siebel, which is a CRM system, which had a new technology, was called what's the name? OpenUI. And yeah, there was a little bit of problem. You want to see the code? Yeah, I think Roddy Davis didn't share it, so it will be a bit tricky. Add here padding. Let's see. Yeah, so something like that. So we have the 4 columns, and I would say every column should have a little bit of a padding so that we get spaces around them, right? So that we don't get too close each other. Or what we could also do is make this row with the main axis alignment space between. Let's see if this works. And we remove this part. Unfortunately not. So we need maybe spaces between all of them. Width of, I don't know, 10 pixels maybe, something like that. Then after my long-term JavaScript and CSS fight, where I mostly tried to avoid important flags and try to help new developers learn to remove important flags everywhere. So now we have a little bit space everywhere, that's good. But we still want to have a padding on top. So give that a padding of not only, but symmetrical. And this will be, I think, vertical. Yeah, fantastic. We can make the whole row const. You think so? So you mean this row could be, yeah, but in the future they will most likely will not, right? At the moment it will be, but no, it's not possible. Constructor being called isn't a const constructor. Yeah, so fair enough. The max width container keeps track of the max width of this desktop version. So at the moment we decided that the max width of the website can be only 1280. So everything, like for example that part here, is in that container. So it helps a lot to keep that. I think I have made a video for providers for beginner. If you search for it, Flutter explained provider. And I think you should find exactly one video from me, hopefully. Oh, there's so many videos for providers, so yeah, if you search for me, you will find it. Yes, this website is currently responsive. So we will use for mobile and for desktop. So as you see, at the moment in mobile it looks a bit odd, but it will be better in the future. And we can't scroll at the moment. We don't have a bottom and a footer, but we will work on that. No, it is not given by Flutter. It's a custom widget that we created. And what it does is just taking the max width that we define. And the max width is standard 1200. And this will wrap everything and push it to this constraint, as you see here with the max width container. We could also use, instead of a constraint box, most likely a size box. Yeah, we could. Why don't we use that size box? I think that would be easier. Let's see. Shouldn't change anything, right? So fantastic. Yep, works as like a charm. I think makes more sense because we keep track that the developers don't make mistakes here. I did that with this responsive widget here, and the responsive widget gets 3 different bodies. And what we have here is it just checks the whole thing. So you find that in the GitHub repo, and you can watch all the streams. I think we are currently in 6 streams or something, or in the sixth streams. And you can watch them, of course. We'll help you anyway, I hope. Okay, so now we have these parts, and I think currently they are pretty big, of course, but this should just give us an idea on how it could look like. So this will be now our columns, right? And this can't be const anymore. Up. Column and column. So now it's pretty empty again, but what we want to have in these columns are children. And for example, text, where we have, I tried velocity once. Currently I didn't have a start with it, a good one, I would say. The problem here is that I'm not convinced that I really like it so far. So we have here, for example, the platform, help center, security, something like that, and so on and so forth. So, hey Arvin, thank you so much. That helps us again a lot. Unfortunately, I can't see your message right now, so let me check if I find that somewhere. That's so cool, really, thank you. At the moment, every dollar helps. Sure, I do a lot of them. I work, I think this week, hopefully, if everything works well, we are working with, together with, what's his name? The Happy Harris, if you know him. We want to talk about our first apps. This will be this Friday. And yeah, so I usually do them in every case. And I really like collabs because they bring me on to new ideas. Thank you, Arvin, really helps. It's nice that, I don't know, just happy. So let me think. So we have column const, we have a text here, and in this text we want to say something like, let's just copy this for now, and then we will change that in the future. So we just use platform here. Then another text would be, for example, help center. And for example, security. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Kamlesh. Nice to see you. And we copy these parts. I think we can copy the whole thing. So. How get membership? We think a lot about the membership program at the moment, and our current solution is that we will use most likely the Buy Me a Coffee one. That is the easiest one, and we don't have to pay so much for it. I don't know if we will have a membership program in YouTube sooner or later, but it will come, of course. I share that link. We will use that, of course, but we don't have the icons yet, so we need a little bit of time to prepare them. But as soon as it will be available, I will tell you. And also we have to find some traits, like, for example, how do you call it? getting access to an own Discord channel and such stuff, and it will always take time. You know that whole preparation is always a. Why has mine cheers? Yeah, I think Amish, because of the stream disconnected. So currently, I think Streamlabs is not currently aware that I'm streaming. Sorry for that. It's not the best timing to cheer. My smile is like a small child. Yeah, I feel also like that. Rapid expansion. Oh well, I take it very slow. I think we got like a massive improvement in the last couple of weeks, and now I'm just trying to figure out, okay, how do we want to go further? What is the idea behind? And because that Buy Me a Coffee offers also some ideas that we can maybe offer one-on-one consultations and so on with it. So this is the idea. It's showing that there are new subscribers, and your cheer didn't work. And to be honest, I didn't see your command in the chat. Huh. I think the whole time if I should maybe make a beginner's course for Flutter and Dart, or Dart in general. So like really talk about all the different parts of the language and maybe all the improvements that it made in the last couple of months. But currently we are Flutter explained, you know, and everything that is not completely related to Flutter feels a little bit odd to do. So we have some problems. For example, the color of the text is black, which is not a good idea. So we have to give everything a text style, right? That was not, of course, not a good idea, but I will add them to you, Amish, again, if that was really a challenge. I will do that after the stream, if this is okay. I really need to write that down somewhere, because I am absolutely bad in remembering things. Is there a node program? Yeah, sure, or... Cool. What do I have here, everything? Didn't even know that I have nodes, so... Stream nodes. Add Hamish points for not working cheer. Hamish Pancholi. Hey, thank you, Medan. Thank you so much. Wow, what is going on? The second donation. I think that's the first donations in a couple of months now. In a couple of weeks, I mean. Stefan is always donating a lot, so thank you so much, guys, really. Now I'm getting a bit nervous. It's very new to me, so the whole concept of getting money for streaming and so on, so please don't feel... yeah, really, really thank you so much. So yeah, as I said, I want to do that in the future to announce the art a bit more. Make a tutorial course? Yeah, you think? I absolutely want to do that. Maybe it's really helpful. I think Matab started already with that, you know, these list methods inside of everything. And currently this is really cool that we have that, because a lot of people are watching it. So that's another reason why I take a look all the time there. Ah, you see, I'm getting so you see, you make me nervous. I can't even make colors anymore. Avoid const? Oh, okay. So I'm avoiding const. If you don't like that, go for it. So currently it's white. Oh really, Ankit? That would be amazing. I really search for an editor. So if you are interested in something like that and a collaboration, I'm really happy to do so. If you can send me an offer, would be great. All right, so this is that. I wanted to take a look again into... I have too much tabs open, I think. I had here another one, this guy. Yeah. So, and here they use a different color, so I will just reuse that for now. Is it just white? No. So let's make it easy. We use again the color, give any color. Then we select it, take the picker and select this gray color here. And it's getting this here. There are also, I think, how to make it. The problem is, I think, because of Streamlabs disconnected, I can't even start a poll at the moment. It's really a little bit awkward. So today we have to do it without everything, just with our own brain. We can make a poll by just chatting it, if you want. And I just search if it's the most valued one. Cool. So we have this color, and because we will use the same color for all the different parts, I will create a variable for that. K, what is it? K font color. Bring it up here. This is a const. Fantastic. Add this one. So many info. I don't know what Stream Elements does here. When I started this channel, I once registered for Stream Elements, and since then Stream Elements in every stream, and it also reacts on stuff. Channel Astrosonic. I will check that out. That would be fantastic. It would be great if you could send me the stuff again in Twitter, then I can I will remember it better. Would be pretty cool. Can we not take the whole text style out? I think the text style could be also const, or as long as it no. No, a text style is always a const. Yeah, so this is the point. Okay, with that we can also take the whole text style out, and would give that. Replace all three and give that K text footer text style. Yep. And then we can inline again this one because we don't need a separate one. No. I think I have to bring that up first. So you will be here and you will be there. All right, way better. Now we have the different files, that's fine. How can we make a class const? Like I have a class with all const for colors, okay. You have to think a little bit. So if you have a class, for example, any class, and there is a little bit of a difference. If you want to make it a const class, then you can create a constructor with const. So const any class. And then this constructor tells Flutter Dart more or less that this one is a constant class. While if you want to create a class with all your constants inside, you would make them static. So you would have something like this, static const, I think, and K something with a color 0x like so. This now allows you to access any class and access the K something part of it. You're very welcome. In the class app colors too. Yeah, what I usually do is for the constants that I'm just using inside of a different widget, I use it up here. And Computer Science Academy, you asked me for a collaboration on Dart courses. No, I didn't ignore it. It was more I have to think about it, right? Because there I need really a partner that is reliable, long-term reliable, and has also like an impact. And also because I usually do that stuff always very professional, I will take my time there. So I cannot tell you already if we will make a collaboration or not. We will have to see. You have to talk with me and we have to identify what we want to collab actually. Because what would that be? That I stream on your website and so on and so forth. So it's always a little bit complicated. It's not just let's do it. I think it's also a good idea to create these app classes with colors and everything. How can I make a const? Yep, so I hope I have answered your question, Amish. Cool. So with that, we have this in place. This is our social bar. Fantastic. Can we remove that? I think we can inline that a little bit, right? I think it's cleaner. So the only problem that I see at the moment is actually we don't want to have just a text style, we want also to have a different font, right? Because at the moment this is just the basic, I think, always on Twitter. I'm the best reachable on Twitter. I think Amish learned that. And yeah, so 2 problems. Number 1, it doesn't align on the left. I would like, if we have something like that, we would like to align that on the left. I think in Dribble we saw that here. The stuff starts always on the left and runs out on the right. And for this, I have to do it here in the main axis alignment, start. Oh no, this seems to work already. Huh? Avoid redundant. Interesting. So why is that now a thing? So I thought... cross-axis alignment, of course. Yeah. Thank you. My mind. Yeah, fantastic. So now it starts on the left. That's good. And what we could do is we could remove the first one and keep that empty, but we will keep it for now, but for the future references. So all these columns will have this part. Also this column. Good. You can check out. Yeah, we'll do that. Sorry, I don't want to be mean or something. It's just I have to be careful with such stuff. So that's fantastic. That is working. Let's make here a comma that looks better. Fantastic. That's done. All right. So the only problem that I have currently, all of these, first of all, we have to add more styles everywhere. This is something. I think about that we create a widget for this, because we would have to copy that everywhere, and it feels a little bit tedious right now because I would have to copy that here, and if the text is changing, I have to change all the parts and we have to copy that everywhere. So it sounds like this would be a good part for a widget. But before we go into that, I would like to make a short break of 5 minutes. I have to go to the bathroom shortly. So we'll be back in a sec. I read the chat. It's so nice. The coffee kicked in. Yeah, sometimes it is like that. So welcome back. Second round. Okay, so what I want to do is creating widgets for all that parts, because I think it makes no sense to, if I have to change this font style, for example, we have to change it everywhere. code a copy. It's yeah, I think Dilbert has also a very nice comic for that. So Dilbert coffee. So like I think it's this one, the power force. Yeah, there will be a next live today. The next live will be at 3 p.m, which is in like round about 3 hours, so 4 hours, something like that. I think you will find that on the YouTube channel website directly as the next live stream. Hopefully that everything worked well. Okay, so to create a widget for that, usually I just go below of it and create the widget that we could call footer text widget. And this gets a text, final string text, or yeah, text. How is it called in a text widget? Data. Okay, let's call it data. Whoop, we need a constructor for that, which is fine. But what I will do is I will pass this data also as the first parameter, because it's absolutely not optional. You have to pass the data inside. So, can remove that. Good. And the second part, we could give it an optional style, just if we want to have a different text style here inside. That's a very good question, Armin. I had the same problem in the beginning. Whenever I create a widget, it's fantastic if you create it with a final variable, even though it's a stateful widget. Create one final variable, because then it's getting read here with the error message that it must be initialized. Now if I'm pressing option return, we get this create constructor for final fields, and it immediately creates me these pre-configured constructor. So highly recommend this way and this approach, because it makes it way faster. Okay, let's rename data to text. I think that's fine. Can do that. Cool. Yep, and for VS Code it's command dot, correct. So let's bring this text over here again and fix it up. Great. So, and I think this super part can be removed, but I keep it for now. That's fair enough, I think. And the second thing is a text style, which is, yeah, a text or just style, I think. And the same thing here happens if it's a second variable, final, then you get still the same problem, right? It's now the constructor is getting read, and you can directly use it here, and it will add the missing parameter inside of the constructor. Okay, and this is the kfooter text style, which is the default one. And if this is, no, different. This will be style. And if it is null, then we use kfooter text style. Cool. Now we can create an own widget for that. I don't know if this is necessary. Let's keep it for now here, because I think the footer text widget is nowhere else used than in this widget here. So I will keep it in the footer widget or close to the footer widget. What was that? Sorry, I was a bit too slow. Something with stable. Good. So now we can use that footer widget here everywhere, I think, in regards to this text. And then we can remove that styling here. My League of Legends handle. I don't play too much at the moment, so let me check. I actually don't know at the moment. I think it's still Miracle, and it will be Europe West, I think. Maybe whenever I have time, I can make a live stream somewhere else on a different channel where we can work, where we play a bit League of Legends. But I'm silver, I'm horrible, and I try to get better, but I really been bad. All good, tested it in, perfect. So don't expect too much of a skill set. Okay, footer text style, super key, why used? Okay, fantastic question. Is everyone aware what key means and why it exists in Flutter? A key is created for every different widget inside of your widget tree. And even though if we don't set this part, so even if I would remove that, the super would anyway get a key value, which is a unique identifier that identifies each widget. So with that, the Flutter tree knows exactly where you are. So you can pass an own key. That usually happens, for example, for a form. Yeah, a form needs a key that you get this stuff. And you could also generate an own key, but you have to make sure that it can't be, or that it is absolutely unique for the whole application. So the automatic generation of a constructor will create this key always, but actually we don't necessarily need it because we don't want that this widget gets controlled by a key or something. Is it good for performance? I don't know. I don't know why I always thought you were an Age of Empire player. I don't know either. I was never good at, I think the only game that I played a lot and that is real-time strategy was, I think, what was the name? Warcraft 3. And I loved it. And I'm still okay-ish in StarCraft 2, I think, but never played Age of Empire, to be honest, and or at least not in a multiplayer part where I was competitive or something. Maybe I should start that. Maybe this is another stream that I could do. Learning Age of Empires. I just know that it's very hard and you should really keep track of your villages. I think that is very important. That's the stuff that I can tell you. Okay, so now we have currently 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, right, with the stuff. And if we take a look, it looks already pretty promising, right? Everything is on the left side, we have this stuff. And the cool thing is we could also replace something. So if we don't want to have a column in the first part, we want to maybe show our logo, we could add that here. So placeholder, const, I think. No. What's the problem with the placeholder? Is it the whole thing? Cool. So yeah, that we have a logo or something on that side, and then we can use that. Call of Duty or PUBG. Oh yeah, true. I played Call of Duty a long time ago. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 or something like that. Ooh, it makes fun to talk about my games. I'm sorry. I'm always excited about gameplay. Yeah, so go back to my logo. I think we have that in the navigation bar. And here we have the logo image path. And what we could do instead of having this placeholder is having image asset, logo image path. Oops. This we could import. We got some red flags here because image asset. Why do we get that? The constructor being called isn't a const constructor. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Any article for file structure? What do you mean with file structure? How do you set up this structure here for the different folders? I searched for that too a long time ago. So Flutter folder structure article. I think you will find something or not. Keep your code organized. Oh, from Amateur Coder, you see? So maybe this can help you. I don't know if he knows it for big and large projects, but he created something there. Here's a new one from Braille Dev. He makes it via, he makes his folder structure feature based. So that means you have a view, in that view you have a feature like authentication, admin and so on, and creates then his views for that. I also like this idea, it's pretty cool. So it's completely up to you. You have to think a little bit about it, but for bigger project, I would maybe go for that one first. So the CSS overview didn't work, so I closed that off at the moment. Get that. Okay. So now we have a logo on the left-hand side, which is pretty cool. Maybe a bit too large, so we can maybe make that a little bit smaller. The Amateur Coder one, let me check. No, it is not. I think that was this one. Here we go. There was an MVC backend from the basics to advanced. Model view controller backend tutorial. Okay. So that sounds something that I could maybe deliver, but I think there are also packages for MVC and Flutter in general. So you could maybe check that out. I think that was not it, but here's that pattern part, which delivers you a lot of information how you can do that, how you set up everything the best. I don't know if it's for backend necessarily, but it helps you for the front-end delivery. Which backend do you use anyway, Arvin? So yeah, much better, not too big. And then we have these different things. Another thing, a lot of Firebase. Okay, so it's more the Flutter part that you want to structure a little bit more. That makes sense. So another thing that this footer text widget will be in the future is gaming is good for developer. I think gaming is for me very good. I don't know if it's good for a developer. I just talk a lot about it, and I play a lot of Witcher 3 and talk a lot about it, Witcher 3. Firebase lover. Yeah, Firebase is amazing, but it's so big, there is so much stuff to do, and then I have to learn a lot for myself first, and then I have to explain everything, also beautiful. So it's always a little bit of a tricky part, right? And also I think there is always a lot of stuff already existent. Somehow this is not in the center, or is it just me? It looks a bit odd. Is there a reason for that? We have the Flutter DevTools here, so let's check that out. This is the row. Here we have the padding. The column. Would you say this is the same size as this? Huh. Maybe because that this text here starts here, so it's getting a bit pushed down. I think that makes sense. What time is it here? It is 11:49. A new Flutter Fire plugin, really? Didn't know that, to be honest. I have that in the Mozilla, so this is the problem. Go. All right. So what we could do is activate this one. Maybe here we see it. Yeah, so this block up here is the problem because it needs so much space for this. I don't know how I should call it. And for this, it takes the space up here and down here. And that's why it looks not in the center part. The voice of villager. Okay, so we have two solutions for this that I have in mind, but Germany almost noon. Yep, it's soon for a lunch, so hopefully Matab is preparing something. Okay, one thing that I would like to add to the footer that is currently not there is these things are not links, right? We can't click them, so they are just done there. And another thing that I don't like is that they are very narrow on each other. So if we take a look where here, they have some space to breathe in between. So let's check if we can do that in an easy way that I don't have to do that everywhere. So main axis alignment, we try space between. Let's bring that a little bit closer. So space between didn't work for the column. Space around maybe. Platform help, huh? Yeah, I know Supernova. Really? I thought Supernova is like the marketing king on Flutter at the moment. So if I'm going for YouTube and Supernova. Less than 5. Okay. Maybe I should add Flutter, because else we get astronomical. Crash course prepared. Oh, you're right, it's not too much. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. I will add that to the open video list. So is it now space around? Seems not to work. Why? Let's make that a little bit smaller. Get again our Firefox here. Ask for these widgets down here. Make it a little bit smaller. So what is the reason for that problem here? So we have the footer text and the column. And we say space around, but it seems not to do something. Because the column is not very high, right? So these expanded, size box expanded. So this expanded don't have a real or a very big height. Interesting. So what is the problem then if we have these expanded? Here it works very well, it takes 100 of the height, but here it doesn't. So maybe we have to surround these expandeds with a height of 100. Let's see if this works. So width of 100, no, not with a height of 100. But now the expanded is, no, not this way. We have to surround the column with a size box. And now a height of 100. Let's see if this worked. Yeah, fantastic. Stop. Cool. So this works better. So let's do that for all of them. Size box. Height of 100. And the same thing for the last one. Sized box. Height of 100. Yeah, space between is missing. Studio and also Rotato. It is also very known, but very good. Okay, Rotato. Never heard about it. So let's check the document open video, I think, or doc video, I think. Let me check Flutter explained.live. I think there all the commands are. I think somewhere upcoming FHQ doc video, is it? Yeah, there it is. So we can use that and enter it directly here. And then we can maybe add that stuff that we don't miss it. Oops. Huh. Now I made a mistake. Anyhow, let's add that somewhere. So Dart Foundation series, that's something in the future. How do you call that? I think that's something else, right? So it would be something like maybe studios or code generators. Like Supernova Studio or Rotato. Something like that. In the meantime, I have to bring back my live stream ticker because somehow I removed the chat. Sorry if I can't read it anymore at the moment. Yeah, better. I think this is some... I don't know, never worked with it, so... Supernova is insane, yeah, that's true. I think the code generation is amazing. I saw that on the different... on the video for the Google I/O, I think. And now let's go here back. So we have platform and customers, use cases. I used Figma. Yeah, but Supernova is different to Figma, or I think Supernova is really creating you. Figma is just creating you a mockup or something that you can use, but Supernova really creates you the code at the end. Yeah. And customer service. What do you mean, Maulik? Please make document also for Flutter Web. I think we have one, or no, I think we want to use or keep track of the Flutter Web inside of the GitHub repository. So if we have like projects or what we are working currently on, then we do that directly inside of the Flutter. What is that? Okay. We want to have that in the repository. I post you that link here. You still have the code in Figma with a plugin. Oh, really? So it's like Adobe XD to Flutter at the end. Maybe better or worse. So how does it look like? Where's my website? Ah, this crashed. Okay, fantastic. Oh, I see we are working on the wrong branch at the moment. Not good, not good. So let's what is that now? Stale file. Okay, can fix that in the future. You're very welcome, Maulik. No worries. So that worked, fantastic. Now what I want to do is I want to fix the branches first. So let's check out master with mdweber / UI improvements. And then unfortunately we have to, merge the improved one into ours. Did that work? So when I push now, yeah, fantastic. So we have the stuff inside, and with that we have the possibility to push later also the footer inside. Okay, but one last thing that we have still as a problem is all of these are not linkable, right? They look beautiful, but not linkable. And another thing is that we have to add the last part. So this will be first like company, about and careers, about us and careers. I think we don't have careers. Not yet. Can't afford that already. But maybe in the future. Okay, but now the problem is that these parts are not linkable. So for that, I think we have to use a package, we can use a package, which is URL launcher. And this guy helps us to create nice little clickable links at the end that links to different pages or wherever we want to have that linked. The question is now, will they be navigating somewhere inside of the page, or will they go external to an external page? And before I can answer that question, I think we just keep it like that, and then in the future we will think about it, because all of these parts that I read sounds like they would be on the same page, so inside of our Flutter ecosystem. Okay, so now we have this, and we still want to have somewhere our links to the different social medias. So the question is now, I think inside of that design that we had, where is it? No? Here? Inside of this one, they had another line underneath the footer where they added the social medias. But I think this is a bit too less for us, because I think they will have in the general the bigger impact for our channel and also for our website, right? Because I'm a social media guy. Also a very nice job description. I'm a social media guy. So we have that row here. And what we could do is maybe create a column out of it where we get the first part, and the first part is our social media row. So, something like that. This could now be in the center. Wrong. I think that would be a mistake, right? If we center this, This will be the cross-axis alignment, and if we center this, does it have effect to the other part? I'm not sure. Oh, it doesn't even have an effect here. Ah, interesting. So we can add that to this row. So for the row, that would be the main axis alignment. And let's see how it looks. Yeah, something like that. Okay, not too bad. But now instead of having the different colors for the different icons, I would like to check once more the example of here, because they used it on the same level and they have like this light gray for the also the same color like the text. Because I think this is too colorful, too playful, which could be a problem. So we could use the same footer text style here. No, we can't. Okay, so we need to extract this color here in its own const again. Text color. Okay, text color. And now we can reuse that down here. And of course, not just text color, it is the footer text color. Still broken. A value of color can't be assigned to type int. Okay. This is a... Okay, let's do it this way and remove the const. Here we go. And we have already a util for the URL launcher. So I think we have that already in place somewhere. So if we click that, we open up a browser and go redirecting directly to the link that we want to show. Interesting. So that works already, and we have that URL launcher already, which means that for the parts where we want to use it, like for this text here, we could just add an inkwell, or maybe not an inkwell. I don't know what is the equivalent for a link in Flutter. A hyperlink in a Flutter widget, okay. 7 answers, fantastic. So we have an inkwell with an on tap of it. Okay, so that seems to be the easiest solution. So if we wrap that with an inkwell and would give that inkwell an on pressed, on tap, I think. And inside of here we would just, for now, just say URL, what is the method? Launch URL. And we can pass everything inside. So for now we just pass Flutter explain dot, I don't know. This Lotter file, good question. I forgot about that. You will find that in the README, I think. In the README I added the creator of him. So the creator of the Lotter file is Milushin. And so I'm pretty sure that you will find here very quickly this nice little Lotter file. He's an amazing creator. Here we go. Oops. Yeah, so you will find it. Or better, I can at least share you the link from the README. I think that would be fair. On the second side it is. Alright, so amazing, that's exactly what I'm here for. So this guy can be const, I think. No?
Just wait for the
What's the problem? Sort child property last. Okay, fantastic. So the child should be last. We can do that. And here in the launch URL, we would have two possibilities. The number one is we give a URL inside, which would be a string, I think. And this one needs to be added here. And another thing, if this is not existent, we use HTTPS. let's use my buy me a coffee link for now. That would help me.
The person you're trying to reach
Or put in this,
is
I
not
know.
available right now.
So. Okay, so do we get any problems? No, looks good. And now if I'm clicking on platform, I think somewhere
If you need further assistance, enter
we
pound.
throw an arrow maybe? No. Let's restart the application quickly. Click on platform.
Please leave
Any
a
browser? I have so many
error
browsers
and
open, so I don't know
message
anymore if
tone.
it worked or not.
Goodbye.
So just check if this is working. So we print something here. So it seems not to work. So can launch URL seems to run with false. So we come in the else part. Received invalid const class cannot remove. Okay. If Flutter SDK updated, then do we need to update every package also? Is there any auto upgrade available in the packages? Yes, there is. That is a short answer. I can show you in a second. So when you update your Flutter SDK, usually you get some problems because not all the packages that you have, the dependencies that you have, are updated yet. You have two options here. If they have not been updated yet, search for the packages itself, try to create a pull request and update them for your needs. That is the first one because that helps also the other developers. The second part would be that you check if you can update your packages yet. So for that you have this pub outdated up here. And if you click that, you will get all the versions from Flutter that are maybe not on the newest resolvable way. Usually, if you are having a real project, you would specify on which Flutter SDK version that works. At the moment, we use here always the Flutter version that is generally selected. But you can also break it down to a version that you can use. So you specify the version for that. And with a specified version, the Flutter SDK knows that it is not allowed to install any to use anything from the other parts. If you anyway update your global installed Flutter installation, I recommend you a tool like FVM. I will make a video for that next week. That can pass you the right version into, and then you only have can work with the right version in this project, so you don't get so many problems there. So let's print here can await can launch. What do I do here? URL. Get the dependencies. It looks like it doesn't even jump into a here. That's weird. Print test. What? Okay, let's close it completely off and start it completely new. Maybe there is a different problem. Oh, you're very welcome, Molik. With pleasure. Matab is making noises. Here we go, our website is there, and now let's scroll a bit on the bottom. Ah, look at that, immediately it works, fantastic. We get a lot of testing, so sometimes a good reboot is perfect for the system, right? So if I'm clicking something else, we open it up. Fantastic. I would say for the first cut of today, I'm not sure if this if I like this at the moment, so it's like a bit odd, but on the other hand we want to add also, we want to also add the medium articles and so on, so maybe we add them here too. Then we have to check all the links if they are still working. I'm not sure with that. Yep, DevTO is working, Twitter, fantastic, everything is there. So with that, what I will do now is commit the whole part. So we create here this. I think we improved the footer tremendously. I can't write tremendously, so improve the footer is good enough. We push the whole thing. Check the warnings because we have unused imports. We can remove them, that's fine. And I can commit the whole thing. Now I'm pushing that to the new branch. We will switch over to github.com, search for Flutter Explained website, compare and pull. Write some text for it, what it does, check the preview. Can't merge automatically. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we create a pull request anyway. Just that I see what happened here, and we have the file changes, that works fine. But it's interesting that we can't merge it with master. So what I will do is I go back to my code. I am still on the branch UI improvements, and I will merge it now with the master. But here it tells me it's already up to date, so I'm a little bit confused. Do we still have the merge conflicts? Yeah, in homescreen.dart, okay. Let me check, maybe I have to fetch here first. So fetching, getting me all the metadata from Git, so that we have all the branches and all the information about the branches. Now we press Command T to get the newest versions. Now let's try, you see we have a blue arrow here, so there are changes. So I make merge into current, or maybe I have to update first. Yeah, it's the local one, so I have to update this one first. But more importantly, I want to merge with the origin master, so the one that is on the server. Now we get also our conflict, and now I show you something why I love Android Studio so much, because if I double click here, merge, fantastic. So if I double click there, we get this nice little screen. And this screen shows me all the differences between the one that is currently inside of UI improvements. So this is the stuff that we did at the moment. And on the right side, we see everything that is living on master channel. So you can see we have, for example, an addition from the tablet body where the desktop mode is used. So I will pass that inside. But on the other side, here we removed the max width container from the desktop. So I will also pass that inside. Now we can switch that. And another option, if you don't want to make that manually, is that little icon here, resolve simple conflicts. If I click it, it immediately tries to solve the conflicts here. But you will see that we still get a problem because max width container is not imported anymore. So in order to do that, I think we can remove that even for the tablet mode. So we resolve the merge conflict here, save the whole thing, and now we can press apply. And with that, we have solved the merge conflict. So now I have no pushes, but we can push all the changes and the merge one, right? So we push the whole thing. And I think from now on, this footer for Flutter website should be happy to be merged. Here we go. So now we have all our changes. Let's have a quick look what we did. So we changed the addition from FVM, so the Flutter version manager. And I can refresh the page, there has been changes, okay. Then we have the desktop home, which received the list view here and the shrink wrap. We have added some stuff with the max width container, with the footer, that it is scrollable. We added that the desktop home, that we removed the max width container from both parts. We removed the footer here, which is fine. Added some main axis alignment. Created some sized boxing that instead of a constraint, which makes sense, I think. We have the screen width here, fantastic. And here we created our complete widget new. I think that's fair that it is a bit bigger. and we keep at the moment 3 widgets in one file. So the question, or for the future, we maybe want to split that up. Cool. So I say view to all of them. Obviously, if you have some comments or something, please add them to the pull request. Even though I will merge it now, because when I merge it now, we will have it then directly, thanks to our CI/CD, inside of the code magic part. If you add a comment here, I will work on that in the future and we create an issue for that. I think that makes more sense, if this is okay for you. That would be not the perfect work as we would do it in a company, but I think you get the point. So I remove all the commit messages that we had in between, because I call always squash and merge. And with that, all of these commit messages get just one in the history. So that one that is up here. So what we will have is improved footer for Flutter website, and this is pull request 16. So we confirm and merge the whole thing. And I will add also a label like responsive UI, responsive design. And I think it's a UI improvement. I don't know if there is more. It's an enhancement. And who is assigned? Myself. And the project is the Flutter Explained project. Is there a linked issue? I don't think so. Okay. Fantastic. So this is now merged. And as you see, we get the question if we want to delete the branch. And this is just a remote branch on GitHub, but I also want to delete that one, that we don't get a mess at the end. Because if I go here to code, we see all the branches that existing in the commit. And as you see, we have also here like fixed font size responsive could be deleted, fixed linting issue can be deleted, fitted box fix can be deleted. And now we only have actually 2 merge branches that we have still open. One of them is edit documentation. Looks quite empty, so we will have there a look why it's existent. But we see that nice little yellow part here, and we see now that Code Magic started to run immediately. So hopefully this will run through happily and the tests are still working. And if so, then we will see soon in flutterexplained.codemagic.app the newest version. And as you see, sometimes you see also still old versions of this website. If this is the case, please make sure that you removed the cache. I can do that the best in Chrome. So if you are here in the inspect mode, you can click on that refresh icon and press here empty cache and hard reload. With that, you kick the cache out of your browser and you get the newest version of the website. Whew. All right, now I talked again a lot, and I know that this will take like 5 minutes or something to build everything. So in the meantime, thank you very much for joining the stream today. It was a fantastic session. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Thank you for your help in every case and manner. It's always brilliant to work with you together. If you have any questions, now it's the right time during this build. And in the meantime, I can just say thank you very much. We see us this afternoon in the second stream of today, where I work with Matab further in the recipe app. And I think today, I don't know if we have a plan for today. Let's see. It's always a challenge for us to get plans. Yeah, if there are anything open, you are more than welcome to help in the GitHub repository to add issues. And else, I think the next stream for the website will be on Saturday, or maybe under the week if I find some time. I really hope that I will do that. Yeah. So what do we have? We download all the parts, because we are working on Flutter Web Dev Master, I think, here for Code Magic. It will take a while. Tests are running. It smells amazing. I think Matab cooked something very good. Ah, the analyzer is running. Okay, that could take a while. Is Firebase good for video streaming app? Well, you think about something like TikTok. You see a lot of videos that you want to share with a broadcast case. I think not. I think Firebase video broadcast is not there yet. Same question. I think not. I think you can work with the storage, of course, but I think it will still be really a pain to do that, to share that with a lot of people, because it's very expensive, I think. So there seems to be a solution for that, so I share that with you. I have absolutely no idea, but what I can highly recommend you is a video broadcast server. And you have to think about how you can work with them, I think, because they are specialized on that. I think there are cloud solutions or something. The thing is, I tried that myself once, and I know that it was horrible in web to solve. So yeah, check it out. Maybe you find something that helps you there. I'm sorry that I can't give you a better answer. Yeah, if you want to store videos, you could do it also on Vimeo, YouTube, or something like that, and stream it from there. I think that would be the best option at the moment, or specifically because there are also a lot of packages that help you there. But what he wanted to do is something like Facebook streams, that he creates his own streaming service or something like that. But usually these stuff is very expensive if you don't have an own server, because the data amount is so big, so huge. I mean, it's crazy how much traffic even this video stream here provides. I mean, we have now at the moment 16 viewers, and I think the video is like 5,000 bits or something. So it would be like, it's already quite a lot of data running around. You're more than welcome, music lover. So, building the web. Go, go, go. I'm hungry. Do you work? I think this question goes to you, Molik, or music lover. I'm very happy with our footer. Really, really happy. It looks good. It's interesting that we have some space. I thought this would be aligned now perfectly with that. Maybe this is something that I have to keep in mind. Somehow this looks quite odd. While this is running, I can have a look, I think, quickly. So why is that the case? We have here the footer. And it seems that the footer don't start where it should start. So we have that max width, and there is the symmetric vertical. That's correct. And this here is the cross-axis alignment with start. No, still not. Have to look into that. You asked me. Do you work with Flutter? What do you mean? Do I work with Flutter? Yes, actually, or with the Flutter company or with Google? No, I'm just working with Flutter in development. I have still some customers where I work with React, but actually most of my work is currently Flutter related. So now we are here on the Flutter so the merge is completed, so cleaning up and publishing is done. So if we actually empty cache and hot reload, I really hope that we have now my full-time job is this YouTube channel at the moment. I have currently just a side project, but my full-time project is absolutely just this YouTube channel. And yes, I'm a freelancer, so it's all a bit different there. So it somehow didn't update it yet. Yes, now it is done. So here's the link again. So, all right, so that's it. Yes, I am a freelancer. I think that's the last question for today. Thank you so much for joining. Until the next time. See you, everyone.